working as intended.
Gee. I realized that Elto's, collectibles are level 70. Makes sense though, I think she came out during Shadowbringers. Alright, continuing the, memory lane. Frenchman was ever better than Akira, as Higiri knows only too well. We'll be trying all the next, if so I would ask a favor of you. I prepare special unguent to aid in General Bond's rehabilitation. Injuries such as his must be tended daily, even long after they have healed. You can only deliver it to his man, Commander Swift. He will see that the Flame General receives it. Thanks. Let's deliver it to him swiftly. Greetings, what is it you have there? I have this. I was not aware the General required such stuff. And one of our Doman friends made this for him, did she? Very well, I shall be sure to pass it on. Actually, wait here. We have just this moment concluded a meeting, and I expect he would be glad to speak with you before returning to the palace. Hi. So, Commander tells me that you came all the way to deliver this stuff? Daily, she says, well, mayhap it is best to be prudent. The gods alone know why you agreed to deliver it for her, though. Unless you mean to favor me with that rematch I requested? Last year on a journey of reflection, are you not? Aye, Merweb said as much. And now you want to relive the moment you pulled me from the pit Ilbert left me in to rot. It changed me to think of it, that I was so blind to his hatred. Lolobito tells me that it was not always so, that Ilbert admitted to him he once believed that I would return to Alamigo at the head of an army. But years passed and I did nothing. For all my accomplishments, for all my wealth, power, and influence, I did not to better the plight of my people. Not for lack of trying, but Ilbert didn't know. He thought the bull of Alamigo had grown fat and complacent, that my story set a bad example for our countrymen. Forget your homeland and chase the olden dream, a fine, impossible dream which gave men the strength to endure their hardships and try to make their new lives for themselves here. So the dream had to die. He would kill me, stir up the disillusioned, arm them at the monetarist expense, and then... Forgive me, the science paid the price of my failings. The gods know I have no shortage of debt to repay, of vows to keep and duties to discharge. But mark me well, lass, there will be a reckoning. Mayhaps not today, mayhaps not tomorrow, but a reckoning there will be. A refugee of a fallen nation, he had risen from the depths of poverty to claim a seat on the syndicate. Yet for all his great deeds, one was left undone, and like sands through an hourglass, the years slipped away, taking with them an old friend's hope. Whereas I haven't done Palace of the Dead yet. Off to the Western Highlands, are we? Hello, by the Fury, is that you, Mr. Starkster? Forgive me. What reason could you possibly have for returning to this god's-forsaken place? Maybe it is a fate which brings you here in this day of introspection and reflection. We are come to Gorgagna Mills to accept the surrender of a half-dozen heretics who once fought for the Lady Iceheart. If you're intending to visit the cellars, I would ask that you do nothing to unsettle them. Down into the basement again. Wait, I know you. You were at the amphitheater with the Dragon Slayer. I suppose we owe an apology. When you came to us seeking to parley, we were sure it was a scheme to lure out Our Lady. We were sure about a lot of things. When she first shared her revelation, when she told us that she was not Saint Shiva reborn, we assumed it was a test. For had we not prayed for salvation, had she not descended to deliver us from evil? She replied that our prayers were but fuel for a fever dream, a construct born of desperation denial. She was no savior, she said. But when we marched upon Ishgard regardlessly, she pulled us from the brink of oblivion and implored us to find another way. And here we are, ready to lay down our arms at last. It's time. She considered you a friend. Had things been different, maybe we could have been friends too. Farewell. Forsaken by gods and men, they found salvation in revelation. They would take up arms against their own kind to set ancient wrongs to right. Cut out Ishgard's festering heart and the war would be over. This they knew, believed with all their being, until their savior told them their efforts would be for naught. Am I going like on a journey for the entire storyline? Chancellor's not hanging out with the kids anymore? Hello, Fizz and the great war of light herself, she who slew the dread worm Nidhogg, bringing an end to 1,000 years of war. And my very livelihood! Well, go on then, strike me down and finish the job. Stab me right in the heart. Let me lend you my spear if you like. After all, I won't be bloody needing it. Bah! Tell me true, for a moment I had you fooled. Ye gods, as if I could hate the woman who rid us of Nidhogg. Oh, lest you worry, that business about me losing my livelihood couldn't have been further from the truth. In point of fact, peace is proving surprisingly lucrative. As our nation's tidal Thrift-Bilger's brood have grown stronger and our interests in Giovanni have begun to expand, we have seen a marked increase in the number of travelers on the road. Needless to say, these said travelers require protection, which we are only too happy to provide. Granted, such will not earn you a lordship like slaying a dragon might, but it pays well and is far less prone to end in incineration, which seems reasonable enough for compromise, all things considered. As long as there are wars to fight, there will be those who take up arms not out of hatred or even a sense of duty, but for want of better employment. When presented with an alternative, such individuals may gladly trade their swords for scythes, or failing that, pledge them to a more worthy cause. Alright, and off to the champion Tailfeather. Here we are doing a big fucking world tour. Hey champ, something the matter, lass? Nath giving you trouble? During remembrance, eh? Gods, it feels like only yesterday you sailed turned up in Tailfeather with you in tow, back into our lives and gone all too soon. Did I ever tell you how we found her 5 years back in a torpor out in the forest all by her lonesome? Aye, well, we weren't about to leave her there, so we carried her back here and tended to her till she woke up. Didn't say a word for days, you sail. Just sat there and stared up at the sky as if the ground held nothing for her. And it didn't, we learned, when she finally spoke. Now, you might think she's not one to smile, but if you'd seen her in those years that followed... the one day all of a sudden she says she's got a truth that must be shared, up in the leaves for God knows where. And that was the last we heard of her, for a time. Redemption's not beyond us, friends. Come and hear the truth. Come and hear the Lady Iceheart speak. And they did. From far and wide, or so the story went. Some said there was nothing in it, but I knew. I think, Monica, deep down most folk want to do right by themselves and by others, and they try, oh how they try. You do, certainly, and so did she. Alright, the champ would see you on your way. Apologies, you came here to think on your own memories, not listen to mine. I take it the Nath are next? Right then, if we're to do this properly, you'll need to gather up your incentives as before. In case you've forgotten, there's a basket of fresh Calum tree fruit, a good-sized jar of land trap nectar, and a dirty great cartload of young Nanka flesh. Surprise! Ah, come on, lass, surely you can't be that bloody daft. You're more than welcome in their village already. Safe travels. It's like, just kidding, you don't need anything. These guys are nasty. Hi, click click, hunter of dragons and gods, I bid you welcome. What would you ask of me this eve? Once we would have had no conception of what you speak. The one mind does not forget, but we do. It can be most distressing. To remember is not enough. One must strain and give words to memory and inscribe words upon parchment. This is the chronicler's calling. He wrote of how you came to Lost Athvath and how you left to slay Ravana, and how the young hunter trained with the old hunter while you were away. We shall treasure these memories, this history you have given us, and when new Vath join us, we shall share it with them as well. Bound no longer to the will of the many, they are now free to walk their own path. Thus reborn, they would write the first chapter of a new history to be passed on to future generations. And as their culture grew older and richer, so too would their story. Alright, visit Vidofnir? How are you feeling now, dragon friend? Friend of Seal, warrior of warriors, thou art ever welcome in Annex Shrine. What bringeth thee to us this night? There is much wisdom to be gained from looking to the past, to walk half-remembered paths and mark anew their twists and turns. We too do this, though not through pilgrimage, nor less the written word beloved of thy historians. In song do we preserve the deeds of our lost and chronicle the passing of the ages. Naught hath greater power to stirge our hearts. 'Twas a dirge of profoundest sadness that roused Nidhogg's brood to action, a dirge which soundeth no more. Now a new song rises to fill the void, one of hope rekindled, of wars ended, peace rebirths. I shall sing of thee and seal ever after, that all may know and remember. In the chorus, the fallen could rise once more. For none are dead whose names yet echo in the heavens, and the song would not end until the last voice fell silent. Heroes and villains, sinners and saints, all would live again. Alright, off to the Mughals. Hi. How you doing, dingus? Well, yank my palm and call me a mole bat. I certainly wasn't expecting to see you today. Still calling yourself Monica? Not that there's anything wrong with that, Kupo. Anyway, what are you doing here? Thank heavens for that. I was sure you were going to ask for help with yet another one of your exciting quests. But by all means, we'd love to pass the time reminiscing about the good old days. And better than now, Kupo. What with your friends visiting and all? Wait here and I'll fetch them. Who are you fetching? Oh, hi guys. So glad I see you again, Monica, and in Hamagholm of all places. Kupo, it really is you, and just when we were about to leave. I think a wonderful is pilgrimage of yours, a final reflection upon the past that you might face the future with eyes unclouded and a heart at peace. Few deny that the events of recent days warrant such contemplation. When last we stood in this place, I dare say none among our number would have believed what was to follow, young Estinian least of all. Upon learning what befell him in Azlaw, I confess I thought him lost. But when Master Alphino told me of your great struggle and of his salvation, I was reminded of your talent for the impossible. If you ask me, he seemed altogether too stubborn to die, though I suppose it is no small feat to evict a spite-filled worm once it has made its home in one's head. With Nidhogg's passing, the children of Ishgard and Drevania may at last look to the future. It is my hope, however, that they will not forget the deeds of history, nor the many thousands of lives lost in their conflict, for only through remembrance will they avoid the mistakes of the past. We thank you again for your hospitality, Chieftain Moglin, and pray that you will one day allow us to extend you the same courtesy. I wish you well on your journey, Monica. May you ever walk in the light of the crystal. Until we meet again, Kubo! Even in the farthest reaches of distant, dangerous lands, one may chance upon a friendly face. Though given to mischief and largely unconcerned by the troubles of the outside world, they came to understand Ishgard's plight and agreed to lend their aid. Eventually, that is. What's going on way out here in the middle of nowhere? Who's hanging out here? I'm just hanging out on the campsite. The crackling warmth of Alphino's campfire, the savory waft of Zeal's bubbling stew, the soft snoring of Moghan asleep on the grass. A cold wind blew that night as well, and on the morrow they mounted the steps and blew the horn, but having climbed to the summit with hope in their hearts, they ascended dejected, weighed down by truths too grim to contemplate. Go meet Hrsvelgr next. Nope, go all the way to Ul'dah next. Paladin things going on here. Alright, what do we have to do over here in Ul'dah? You there, over here quickly! I should have known you would see through my disguise. But enough talk, we can linger here lest the guards recognize their sultana. Lala friend. As you may have deduced, I was taking the air outside the palace when I saw you standing there staring off into space. Have you something on your mind? I understand completely. So much has happened, so much has changed. And all in so short a space of time. Even now I struggle to make sense of it all. One thing at least is abundantly clear. I owe you an immense debt of gratitude for all you have done on my behalf and on behalf of those whom I hold dear. After I woke, Papa Shan told me everything. It was a lot to take in, but nothing can compare me for what Lord Lodorito had to say. That ruthless, manipulative swine came before me and expressed regret for what had come to pass, and thinking to make amends offered all of Adelige's assets, as well as half of his own personal fortune to the crown, and I accepted. Long to debate how best to use this wealth, there is no end to the troubles facing our nation and no shortage of worthwhile causes. Yet none among our people have suffered more than the refugees, and it is they who shall be first to receive aid and succor. There is also the matter of the terrible wrongs committed against you and yours, for which I am in large part responsible. Nay, do not protest, it is the truth. Accordingly, I have set aside monies to aid in the Scion's rebuilding, if you would have them. That would be most welcome. Thank you, Your Grace. May I please best... Yeah, that would be most welcome. Don't be afraid of money. Pray do not thank me, not after all you have suffered. And know that I do not think to atone for my mistakes with money. It is but a tool which I would put to good use. Oh, listen to me. So much for enjoying a moment's respite outside the palace walls. It rather seems as if I have brought my responsibilities with me. I suppose I should return. Lady Laura, you must come home at once. Father's worried sick, you know. God confound it, you lot search this area. I know she came through here. On the hand, it is essential that a ruler see firsthand how our subjects go about their daily lives, and I have not visited the markets in weeks. 'Twould seem a shame to let this opportunity go to waste. Monica, might I impose on you to have a brief yet cordial conversation with those Sworn? I leave the choice of subject matter up to you. Take care! Run! Let her escape. Hi, Lalafell Sworn. Hello. I beg your pardon, miss, but did you perhaps see a young noblewoman pass away? She would be around your height. No. I sure no, dear. Master Papashan said this might happen, but I never truly believed he was serious. Alright. Sworn Elite sports a faintly troubled expression, just straining to remember something important. Wait, I know you. You're Monica. Monica Darkstar. What a stroke of luck. I can think of none better qualified to help us. You see, it is no mere noblewoman that we seek. But Master Papashan was most explicit about the need for secrecy. Prima mentioned it. We will find the lady on our own. Alright, bye. What cruel fate to lose her father as a child and be compelled to rule in his stead. And how the years had tempered her dreams and taught her, somewhat brutally, the price of naivety. Though outwardly unscathed by her ordeal, as a wiser and more wary anima who reclaimed the throne. Off to the donuts. Here, Monica, you told me of your pilgrimage. I knew it was only a matter of time before you sought me out. I too have been reflecting on the choice which shaped my path. When I took out to the road with my grandfather, when I joined the Crystal Braves, when I tried and failed to warn you before the banquet. I had my suspicions about Wilred's death. That was the work of a Garlean spy within our ranks, but I could not be sure who was involved, hence my desire to speak with you in private. I thought long and hard about how to approach you without arousing suspicion, mayhap too long. Eventually I decided to arrange a meeting through Mistress Momodi. Little did I know that bastard Laurentius had seen me do it. Shortly thereafter, the fourth received urgent summons. Needless to say, I had no choice but to answer and soon found myself at the mercy of Captain Ilbert's band of traitors. They confined me to the Rising Stones along with the others still loyal to the Scions, Real, FME, Ergmus. Quite what they planned to do with us, I couldn't say. Mayhap they thought we would turn given time, the fools. Lieutenant Yuhasa bid the third keep us under constant guard, but when Captain Ilbert moved to carry out General Bond's execution, they were forced to withdraw but a token force, which he took by surprise one night, and then it was over. One might argue that it turned out better than it had any right to, all things considered. Still, there are nights when I lie awake wondering if I had done things differently, if I had been more careful or more decisive. What then? But there's not to be gained from thinking thus. We must count our blessings, must we not? We are still here, and most of what was broken can be rebuilt. You will see, Monica. You will see. Long pilgrimage. For the freedom of all, it had begun with an oath and ended with a betrayal as the conspirators turned to their comrades for coin and country. The good and true were beaten, imprisoned, or else butchered where they stood, but even in the darkest moments they never stopped believing the dawn's light would shine again. Also, you have a quest here because my friend helped me get a bunch of mounts. A legend for a legend. The minstrel of Revenant's Toll would like you to wet his whistle. He wants me to wet his something. How good to see you again, Naga. Little have I had to wander in search of inspiration these past moons, for the very air resounds with word of your valorous deeds. Are the rumors true that primals of Rosa resurrected and even more ferocious sword only meet a swift end at your hand? Well, not at my hand, at a friend's hand. I knew it, but tell me, in your forays among the beast tribes, did you ever come across a nightmare? Steeds of darkness gifted to the beast tribes by the servants of evil as mounts for their unholy armies, or so the rumors have it, for neither sable hide nor inky hair have I seen firsthand. You haven't only seen these fell beasts, but tamed them? Even the fabled magic steeds consecrated by the primals themselves? I can scarce believe it possible. If any woman is capable of that feat, it is you. Well, the animals were merely the stuff of legend, creatures of manifest darkness sacrificed to the beast tribe's unholy gods, emerging from the void recast in their elemental image. Think that not only do these eldritch beings exist, but I know the very woman to whom they answer. Yes, I see it now. You're the one of whom the oracle spoke all those years ago. I wish for you to have this whistle. I collected it during my wanderings in the east, a gift from an ancient hermit who lived a life of seclusion atop a holy mountain. At the time I thought I'd poor reward for climbing to the top of that god's-forsaken peak, but as I turned to go, the hermit spoke into me thus: the gift I give you is no mundane instrument. Only a matchless hero may sound its clarion call and summon the ageless one, a legend to call a legend forth. Colt that I was, I thought him senile, a broken man with a broken whistle, and yet there was something in the passion of his voice, the glint in his eyes, that told me he was speaking true. Though my lips have never mustered a single peep from the thing, I have kept it at my side ever since. But now I gladly part with it, for who could the hermit have been speaking of but you, a matchless hero who has defended the realm time and time again from the primal menace, a living legend who can call forth legendary beasts at will. Sure you must have foreseen our fateful meeting. Full faith have I that your heroic lips will succeed when my merely musical ones failed. One in honor shall be to bear witness to the first encounter between the greatest hero of all time and a mythical creature the like of which the world has never seen. What a song I shall make of it. But a sublime song calls for sublime setting, and I can think of none better than the crystal cliffs of Wrathfrost overlooking Silvertear Lake. Forgive me for wishing to add a touch of theater to an already auspicious event, but if you would indulge me this once, I would be eternally grateful. I shall follow you to Wrathfrost and keep out of sight until such time as you blow the fief and summon the— oh, but my heart races just to think of it. To Wrathfrost, Monica, your legend awaits. Alright, time to whistle while I work. Time to play some Five Nights at Freddy's. Magic. I'm feeling dizzy. Magic things. It's funny when my friend killed Garuda for me, he dropped the Garuda's horse as well as Nightmare at the same time. Better horse. Beautiful. Not even my wildest dreams of fantasy did I ever dream of witnessing such a sight. If I'm not mistaken, this is the immortal Kyrian of Eastern legend. Thank you, Monica, for allowing me this chance to see this one with my own eyes. I shall treasure this memory for always. That the Kyrian has responded to your summons can mean only one thing. It asserts its sense to your command. It is as I always knew it would be from the very moment we met. You are one of the hermits spoke of, the legend fit to call for the legend forth. Beneath the crystal bower a silent whistle sounds. That o'er a crystal tower around the world resounds. So from its clouded kingdom a golden steed descends to bend its knee to a hero brave and for strength to lend. I'm positive overflowing with newfound inspiration, and it is all thanks to you, Monica. I shall call this song The Ballad of a Myth Rider. It shall be my finest creation yet. I have one request. As you ride out into the wide world atop your legendary steed, do not forget to return to me once in a while and recount your adventures. People the realm over may shout your praises, but who among them can set them to verse as well as I? Horsing around. Achievement. Alright, new mount. Off to Ishgard. Gonna talk about the Bismarck fight. Whee! More reminiscing. Why hello there, Monica. Fancy meeting you here. Hi, Lala friend. Reminiscing about the glory days, eh? We spent many a sleepless night hammering away in that corner of ours. How's your mana cutter holding up, by the way? Thumbs up. That's good to hear. Not that I had any doubts, like our craftsmanship second to none. Quite right, it'll take more than swirling winds and raging dragons to bring her down. And that, my friend, is an ironworks guarantee. Smooch on the back of the field to test success, we've gone ahead and licensed design for this mass production. Soon the Sky Steel manufacturer will be churning out mana cutters by the dozen. Which is why we're here today, as a matter of fact, to make sure the machinists don't bugger anything up. Apparently, adventurers have been queuing up to place an order, and even some sky pirates. And I just imagine the sea of clouds teeming with our creations filled me with a father's pride. Right then, that's enough putting ourselves on the back. We got to make sure the cutters are up to snuff, or Jesse will never let us hear the end of it. From now till we finish, there'll be no more breaks, distractions, and not one wink of sleep. Do you hear me? Surprise. Oh, fucking cart chocobo. Well, we'll leave it to it. Next time, eh? Bye. Despite the many hardships they had endured, or perhaps because of them, they greeted every new challenge with a smile. Their workshop, their battlefield, their tools, their weapons. They invariably rose to the occasion, delivering ingenious solutions to seemingly insoluble problems. Alright, back to the Turning Miss. It's like, oh, you're done the main story, better do 8 parts of side quests. And what's going on way up here? The dungeon? Beat up Nidhogg the first time? Exciting dungeon music. Through tempestuous winds they carved a path. Breaching the Dreadworm's sanctum, and where And there did they put him to the sword. Yet in the wake of hard-fought victory were secrets laid bare and a vision dark and disturbing. The legacy of fathers is bequeathed to their sons and passed down through the generations, old blood return enduring in the new, the mark of original sin. Alright, off to Broomhilda. It's like, how you doing down here? Ow! I think I break my legs before meeting her. And there she is at last. Gaelicats said you were wandering all over, reminiscing about days gone by. Seems a bit soon if you ask me. It was like I don't understand though. Some days I'll be walking through the broom, same as normal, and hit me all of a sudden, just like how much has changed for us. Though I know it's a bit different from what you've been through. Puts me in mind of the first time I saw her and her friends up near the 8th ride being shown around by the House Four-Temps man. No, you never told me you'd met before. It weren't so much a meeting as a heckling, to be honest. When I heard their guide warning them off paying a visit to the broom, it stuck in my craw. And you got to admit that Master Alphanal is the spitting image of a snotty little lordling. A little lordling that went on to fight 2 Knights of the Heavens Ward with Monica here in a trial by combat, not to mention helping retake the vault from the True Brothers. Fear you have mercy, it feels like a bleeding lifetime ago, don't it? 'Cause it was. What we've got now is nothing like what came before. It's a bleeding rebirth is what it is. Cold comfort to the folk who died getting us here. Still, this piece is ours, and we owe it to ourselves to make the most of it. Meaning we gotta work twice as hard to make the broom a better place. And no more hassling blue bloods either. Everyone's in agreement. Aye, aye! I will depart from the opulence of the pillars. They had toiled, shrouded in the haze of the broom. Sentenced to a life of hardship by birth, they dreamed of revolution as children dream of fairies. Then one came and went, and they suddenly found themselves with a seat at the table. Alright, off to Bismarck lands. I think the last episode I did like 0 fighting, right? Ho, clouds part and let's shine brilliant sun upon Lonuvanu. Great netherling warrior turns to Alcazandu and on pilgrimage of remorse? Well, well. We bid you warmest welcome, slayer of false guards and champion of fallen Gundu, whose fledgling village continues to grow and prosper, now free from the shadow of Vundu oppression. But Lonuvanu is not one to forget Netherling's first coming when she saves us from certain death at the hands of the Black Ones, distant memory though it is. Yes, her many deeds are the stuff of legends. We shall remember the stories and the hero's name, Monica Darkstar, for they are worthy of celebration now and ever after. And earnest, good-natured people, they had borne witness to the rage of their beloved god's twisted manifestation and proclaimed it to be false. By the grace of kind travelers were they duly delivered from its wrath, and the mad god's death signaling the birth of a new hero. All the way to Gridania. If you want to hear, also visit Azys Law. May as well do this. Get this automaton up and running. Please ensure the Turpander is either equipped or in your armory chest. Scholar things. Was it like wrong weapon? Needs this one, right? Anabasis. The automaton sits quietly, waiting to be given a purpose. Alright, now what are you guys working on? So good of you to come. Did you rest well? Gee. Curious, sorry, I'm afraid you'll have to wait a while longer. It is nearly ready, save for a few final adjustments. When finishing with this, I would ask you a favor. As you might remember, I wish to discuss something with you. Now that our work on the anima is complete, I would have Mistress want to come and see the fruits of our labor. But try as I might, there is naught but static when I call by a link pearl. Would you go and ask her to come here to Azys Law? I should be finished by the time your turn. She is sure to be pleased with what I have to show her, as will you. Have to do this quest to get the last one. Hi. Oh yeah, my favorite customer and business partner. Any new developments with the anima weapon? Finish your say, that's the best news I've had all day. Would that I could leave now to see it, but I'd be bad for business to leave clients waiting. You tell her Dasha you can expect a visit from me as soon as I'm done here. Alright, all the way back to Azys Law. Alright, meeting time. With the scary lady. While we wait for Mr. One to arrive, there's something I wish to give you. It is a device to be used when summoning the anima. Care to give it a try? Exciting music. Surprise! A lot less shiny. Did you call Monica? Oh my body is... What happened? Despite all you accomplished here, one thing still concerned me. The fact that your spirit is bound to the anima weapon is why you can only be summoned in its presence. What will happen then should she need your aid but not possess the weapon housing your spirit? It is why I created that new body. It's linked to you through your original soulstone, which still bears your ethereal signature. As long as Monica keeps that device with her, your spirit can be channeled into this new physical form. Consider my gift to you, that none may break the bond shared between you and Monica. Thank you, Ardasher. I will never leave her side. You have my word. What's this then? You celebrating without me? Taken aback. Monica's told me everything. I take it that this is the anima I've heard so much about? It's a pleasure to meet you. Magnificent, is it not? A life created with our own hands, forged into a weapon, the anima weapon. The perfect companion to accompany adventurers like Monica. You've impressed me, Ardasher. With proper rearing, these animals make obedient helpers. And me a tidy profit. I can see my guild is well invested, and I look forward to seeing more of your work. Now that you've overcome the hurdle of making the first, I'm sure a sharp lad like you can ready anima weapons for the masses in no time at all. Indeed, I've learned a great many lessons in my time here, thanks to no small part to Monica and even Geralt. I say it will not be long before all the realm knows of the wonder that is anima. But first I intend to return home. Face permitting, I will find a capable smith to assist me in fashioning more anima weapons. They're both in sync. You were the boy. If he wants to go home, let him. I got better things to do than look after that streak of piss while he makes more toys. With my debts repaid, I'm heading to Costa del Sol for a well-earned... Repaid? I never took you for the sort who jokes about money. You owe me plenty. Now hold on, you promised to forget my debts once we were done with the anima weapon. And I am woman of word. What you owed before we started this little business venture has been forgiven. That just leaves a cost to coming and going from Azaz Law and a rather impressive bill for all that mead you drank. I expect you to pay me back down to the last guild. Of course, I might be willing to forgive and forget again if you help our dear boy Ardasher. Anyway, how to be heading back? Got business to attend to. Until next time. Wait! Wait, Ardasher. How's about if we're up the forge for another of those anima weapons? The offer is appreciated, but no thank you. As I said, what I seek is a smith committed to making weapons, not wasting his days in pursuit of drink. Right then, no more drinking until we're done. Glad we got that settled. We've settled nothing. Even if I were to consent, you would never hold up your end of the agreement. Now, even now I can smell the foul odor of ale on your breath. Perhaps we should leave them to settle this on their own. Surely there are others who need our assistance. Alright. Anima! Isn't that a boss I'll be fighting in the future? The saga ends! Is it done though? Alright, words of wisdom. Just just curious as to the anima's present condition. Even more anima quests! A pleasure as always. How fares the anima? Looks good to me. As friendly as ever, I see. Puts my mind at ease to see you both well. Ardasher, you there, Ardasher? Just thought I'd check in. How are things coming along? Oh no, my research is progressing quite well, thank you. To which I owe the pleasure of this unexpected call. It's those papers you had me send off a few moons ago. You got a letter back about them, and a rather comprehensive one, and judging by the weight of the envelope, reckon you might want to drop by and pick it up. Surprise. Could it be? I mean, of course. I'll make for Edelshire at once. After finishing work on the anima, I wrote a treatise on the various techniques we employed in its development. Thanks to Rena and her influential connections, I was able to deliver it to a renowned scholar who is the realm's foremost expert on arcane entities. I can scarcely believe it, but it would seem my observations were deemed worthy of a response. Which could accompany me to Rena's? I can but speculate as to the contents of the letter, but I dare say we may learn something of the benefit to your anima. Excellent. Pray go on ahead to Edelshire. I have a few tests underway that must be finished before I can leave. I shall follow anon. Alright, let's go fairy thingy. Research and science! For science! Big stack of papers. Exhausted. Oh, there he is. What took you so long? Here, Monica, here, tell you were so bloody worked up about this letter you nearly broke your link pearl. My apologies, sir. I arrived in the hinterlands and I realized the burners of my workbench were still lit. But that is neither here nor there. I think this moment would come. May I see the envelope? After all, it is not every day one receives a personal message from the illustrious Mistress Matoya. I mean, what does cranky old lady have to say? Yes, why, yes, of course. How could I have not seen? Why, it's all so clear now. I had the highest of expectations, but her analysis of my work was even more comprehensive and enlightening than I could ever have imagined. What's more, she praised my methods for development as innovative. Can you believe it? The incomparable Mistress Matoya, master of all matters arcane, was impressed by my intellect and ingenuity. She went on to surmise that, considering the anima in its capacity as a sentient weapon, its sense of individual was lacking. But fear not, in her benevolence, she saw fit to offer counsel as to how we might address this very issue. The fledgling scholar I once was would have been elated simply to receive counsel I could scarcely understand, but I have learned much in my time together with you and Geralt. Together, I'm confident we can put Mistress Matoya's teachings to good use. What say you, Monica? Shall we set to work on instilling your anima with a keener sense of self-awareness? It's like, I thought the saga ended. Glad to hear it. Doubtless Girl, too, will be pleased to hear of this most exciting turn of events. Let's turn to Salon to deliver the good news. Our product's getting a little more polished, eh? Well, if you are Dasher need anything at all, you can trust it. We'll run it to take care of it. Provided the price is right, of course. This ain't a charity I'm running here. After all, good luck to you, Monica. Last year returned. I can scarcely wait to see what wonders will come of Mistress Matoya's counsel. Alright, next one. Best friends forever. Last one. Now it's the last one. I'm actually eager to put Matoya's sage counsel into practice. Alright, now we get to do a world tour. I've poured over Mr. Matoya's instructions 20 times over, in fact, and I do believe I've settled on our next course of action. Allow me to elaborate. I explained that the primals are the key to developing the anima's sense of self. I will grant that the idea may seem far-fetched, but bear with me. As you're well aware, there are beings of aether, much like the anima, summoned forth using crystals driven by the faith of their followers. But to ends do their followers summon them so? How do they fight once they made manifest? This is the knowledge I would have you share with the anima. To do so, I ask you that you take an anima weapon in hand and call to mind your encounters with the primals as vividly as you can muster, as if you were fighting these great battles anew within the confines of your own mind. This plan may seem peculiar, but every success and failure a man experiences grants him strength. Having overcome untold dangers and countless hardships, your spirit is no doubt an inexhaustible reservoir of energies. You must tap into that strength and share it with the anima. When you've finished everything your harrowing experiences with the primals, come speak with me, and we shall set the next step of the plan into motion. Alright, go fight those primals again. Right off to Gridania. Hi, Mitra. Well, Monica, what brings you here this day? Indeed, though it seems an age, it was not all that long ago that we rescued Stola from the livestream. How quickly we interfere with even those memories most precious to us. In my defense, I might add that I have rarely missed an opportunity to make new memories with my sister in the days since her return. Our conversation largely on matters of scientific and professional concern, ancient elegant technologies, primals, Ascians, and so forth. She has an insatiable thirst for knowledge, as you know. Yet while I understand her desire not to burden those around her with their troubles and to carry on as she did before, I do worry that her willingness to manipulate her own aether to compensate for the loss of her sight may have dire repercussions. Surprise! She never told you then? But of course not. 'Twould rather have defeated the purpose. You should know that the technique she employs place a tremendous strain on her body. She is of course well aware of her limits, and more than willing to ignore them should she deem it necessary. I pray you see she does not. Regrettably, that she is wont to ignore my advice when it does not suit her, yet given your shared experience, perhaps she will be more willing to heed your warnings. Her sister was under no illusions as to the dangers of the life she had chosen. Should the worst come to worst, Shula would do what needed to be done, pay any price, make any sacrifice, and that without hesitation. She was a woman of conviction, deserving of respect and admiration, and no small amount of worry. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting to the level 57, 58 areas. Of course, it isn't worth experience anyways. Shakal, why must governing Great Gobby Nation be so difficult? Like herding crows, stupid crows with muchly differing views on Glorious Nation's future direction. Yes, as Sulfix knows, he is letting emotions run wild. Uplander is welcome voice of reason. Not like when Uplanders first returned to Ajar, yes? So much venom in the one's tongue flaps called Gobbyflock thieves, but Sulfix saw a way of mutual understanding. Citizenship and society, first step in strengthening communal ties, gives all vested interest in continued prosperity of egalitarian utopia. For the final objective of this quest, you will receive no guidance from the journey or the do list. You'll need to read the text carefully and decipher the clues to determine your next course of action. And then you get... Aww. Sulfix is a goblin beset by troubles great and small. Now, Sulfix bids Uplanders fulfill civic duty as citizens of Alshire with hand-lending of great import. In cave south of Summit lives Old Crone, wielder of powerful magic used to crafty make frogmen that chase away curious gobbies. Uplanders made many busy deals with Old Crone, yes? Then Uplander can appeal to Crone's better nature and make her call off frogmen barriers. It's Matoya, somehow I don't think it's gonna work. It's like, hey old lady, I'm coming here to pester you again. Push B select. Hi Matoya. She's gonna be cranky. Well, that's a pleasant surprise. I'm well aware that you're only here because you want something, but at least you didn't bring your little friends. So, out with it. Oh, is that what the goblins told you? That my servants were attacking their poor defenseless scouts within the slightest provocation? Huh. Little buggers were trying to eat them. They're lucky I didn't have my progos return the favor, but you can tell them from me that if they try it again, I'll personally feed them to my servants one limb at a time. I do hope you didn't come all this way just to play errand girl for those dirty little scroungers. Aren't you a bit young to be going on grand journeys of reflection? You haven't lived long enough to have so many regrets. The same goes for that boy complaining that things hadn't unfolded as he dreamed they would. Makes no sense what should have happened to Minfilia. What matters is that what did happen. The past is past, and no amount of wishing you'd done things differently will make it so. You make your choice and you do what needs to be done. That's it. That's the attitude you came here with the first time. When you wanted to find a way to get to Azlaw, and you would do well to remember it. Right then, I think you've wasted quite enough of my time. It's bad enough that I have to suffer Stoll as unannounced visits. I don't need you making a habit of it too. Cranky. She was the sum of everything that had come before. Charms, failures, all essential, all indispensable. Had things unfolded differently, so too would she. What use then to mourn the woman who never was? There was only this time, this place, this choice. Alright, and off to Azlaw. How far is this remembrance journey going to go? I ship that. You spy something on the ground at the landing's edge. Blue bouquet. A bouquet of fresh Namia lilies lies at your feet, an offering to the departed. A thousand fires blossomed round her as she fell towards the battleship, a crimson star shower amidst the impassive clouds. Then came the azure light, faint at first, soon blinding, then shattering, casting most of the diamond to the four winds. Go say hi to Big Sis Tiamat. It's like nobody's doing their roulettes right now. Hi, Tiamat. I guess I'll just do this first. Alright, got in during a cutscene. Alright, guys, let's do this. Let's fuck this bitch up. Get a barrier off the start. Alright, bye. Mistral Song. Hey, look, extra things. AoE them. Do more AoE. It's tornado time? It's tornado time. But we don't want to stand in the middle. He's gonna get bounced around. Ah, got stunned. Still too close. Anyways, just kill it. Alright, cutscene time with Tiamat. Child of man, chosen Highland, naught remaineth for thee here save the delusions of the condemned. In my madness did I spy my departed brood brother in yonder skies, though I know it cannot be so. What sayest thou? My senses are yet mine own? Then he whom I saw was but my dead brother's rancor-clad mortal flesh? And thou didst deliver him unto death's cold embrace. I bear thee no ill will, child, 'tis beyond me. All my hatreds are bound up in moments ephemeral and eternal, my beloved's passing and his resurrection. I am no better than Nidhogg, consumed by love, twisted by rage, I too sought vengeance without end. Yet thou hast renounced it, hast thou not? Thermalae have I watched as time did that which I could not. As the men of Alec perished and their works fell to ruin, leaving me to think on mine own sins and solitude. What follows to despise man his base desires when hatred's hand so effortlessly drove me to take Ascian reed? Then look thou on him again with eyes unclouded, and mark how he laboureth to rise above his nature. How he and Hreswilger's blood now raise their voices in a shared song of peace. 'Tis my dearest hope that it shall prove the founding stone for a bulwark against the dark. As time delivered Allegan to its reward, so too will it prove this peace true to or fleeting, as I remain here apart and watch. Chosen of Highland, it is well that thou camest upon me in contemplation, but the road stretches ever on, and thy battle is not yet won. Perhaps there was hope for them, perhaps this time they would learn and remember. But her part in the tale had ended long ago. Within this monument to hubris would she remain until the end of days, beyond redemption. And to the facility. Exciting music. The Undying Ones were defiant, disbelieving even as death embraced them. Then the Knights too succumbed, loyal to the last to a cause long lost. His body growing light, the Archbishop looked upon the arbiter of his fate, and knew not what he saw, and then it was over. Naught remained save the eyes, thinking to bear them away from the covetous hands of men. Estinian took the accursed baubles in his own, and was duly bent to their will, if only for a time. At a friend's behest had they embarked upon their journey, and so after their triumphant homecoming and all the pomp and circumstance, there was but one way it could end. Pay respects to a friend. That would be out in Coerthus. Let's see, is it right here? Pay respects to my best bro. Pay respects to my best bro. Aw. Talking about adventures. Alright, I get Horse Chiffon. Best bro emote. You've learned the emote. On the road again. My friend still's paying his respects too. Just casually visiting. Alright, back to all these. These are all... I mean, they're level 60. But I wonder if you're higher level, I wonder if they're worth more experience. I wonder if they're like the quest that scale based on your level. Because these quests did come out fairly after Heaven's Ward. What 25,000? What if I take them as this? 25,000 still. Alright, they're all just level 60. So I guess they're just extra level 60 quests. Some soldiers looking about anxiously. I was in the Savior Ishgard and the hero who helped us deal with the stray Gaelicat the other day. You couldn't have come at a better time. For reasons I cannot begin to imagine, one of those confounded cats is back, and what's more, it appears to have brought its friends. What's I've been told, as you might imagine, we are at something of a loss as to how to address the situation. If the tales I've heard is true, these creatures originally hail from the Sea of Clouds, and some scholars in fact believe them to be a type of void scent. Why, it is enough to send a shiver up man's spine. Surely you see that we simply cannot allow these baleful creatures to prowl about the firmament as they please. And so I beg you, might you be so kind as to look into the matter and find some way to save us from this formidable fluffy menace? One of my cohorts mentioned that he saw the beast roaming just a ways down the road, and here, take this pouchy dried cloud walk crawler with you. It said the little beast can't resist the scent. Celestio is carefully inspecting the structure before him. What's wrong with it, Phil? Gee. Love and Savior Ishgard, 'tis an honor and a pleasure indeed to be graced with your presence. As so happens, there was a matter regarding which I was hoping to consult with an esteemed adventurer such as yourself. But I forget my manners. I am called Celestio, and Lord Francel has tasked me with overseeing the paperwork for new residents here in the Firmament. Thanks in no small part due to your selfless efforts on our behalf, countless adventurers, tradesmen, and laborers from across the Rosie have chosen to make this place their home. And now that the Hoarfrost has been completed, we finally have a place to put them all. There is, however, just one rub. We have, at least thus far, lacked a facility to serve the role of adventurers guilds that one might find in other nations, a role which will become increasingly vital as our population continues to grow. Your mother was a Hoarfrost. And so I decided to devote this building we stand before to this very purpose. Fortunately, and I'm rather embarrassed to admit this, I am not entirely clear on precisely what manner of business is conducted at these guilds, and in return, what sort of structure might best serve that purpose. Apparently, my friend, what would you say is the defining characteristic of an active, successful adventurers guild? A place where adventurers can come to each other's aid, places in need can enlist adventurers' services. It wouldn't hurt to have a tavern. I mean... so that is the primary purpose of Adventurers Guild. If adventurers are to render assistance efficiently and swiftly, it certainly stands to reason that there needs to be a dedicated venue which they may receive petitions from townsfolk. Thank you, my friend. The insight you have shared with me will no doubt prove invaluable in transforming this venue into one that will serve all adventurers in the firmament and make them feel at home. If I can impose upon you just one last time, might you be willing to speak to some of your peers here in the firmament and see if you could find a generous soul or two who would be willing to stop by? After all, Adventurers Guild without adventurers is hardly worthy of the name. Leave it to me. Many thanks, my friend. I have no doubt that as a Savior Ishgard and a fellow adventurer, your words will resonate with them far more than mine ever could. Politeness. Alright, put this down and attract some kidneys. Place back in the middle of the street near where the Gaelicat was sighted. Retreat to the shadows and hope that the quarry takes the bait. That pussy. Alright, where am I hiding? He's checking it out too. Gee. Alright, let's spy on that. Let's spy on these cats. Meow. What's it wearing? You found it, but what's this? The furry creature has clad itself in an overcoat suitable for the fiercest blizzards. Wherever did it get its paws on such garb? Yeah, that is not garb, my unlearned friend. Another one, and it speaks. What foul sorcery is this? I am but an innocent traveler with a fondness for our feline friends. I journey to the barns of the realm, doing all in my power to see that these creatures are appreciated for the fluffy balls of inimitable cuteness that they are. Now let us return to the topic of the Gaelicat's garb and the wings which appear to be a part of it. Did you know that it is said that no one has ever seen said garb removed, and that every unfortunate soul who has even made an attempt has been met with hissing, clawing rage? In any event, it is true, and in that sense, might it not be said the Gaelicat's garb is not garb at all, but rather an extension of the creature's corporeal form? Not only might it be said, but I proclaim it loudly and with the utmost of confidence. Likewise, I'll posit that those heavily layered silks are evidence that the Gaelicat has adapted to its chilly surroundings. Furthermore, the creature's ample belly would seem to be incontrovertible proof that it has been dining on the most sumptuous of feasts. Do you mean that someone has been feeding this creature? And this surprises you? I just gaze into those innocent eyes. See how it still flicks and curls with such enchanting, enigmatic grace? Behold how it goes about its business, entirely unburdened by the expectations of mortal men. I thought no animal could be more delightful than the Gaelicats that frolic in the air above our heads, but to see one of such stout and ample proportions, why, I'm simply overwhelmed with the sheer force of its immeasurable cuteness. Oh, but I can bear it no longer. I simply must behold the creature up close. I must embrace it, caress its fur, scratch behind its ears, nuzzle its nose, and tell it over and over what a cute little kitty it is. Yes, what a cute little kitty you are. Hiss. Wait, heavens, do you think I came on a bit too strong in any event? We must pursue it at once. Come now. He's like, who the fuck is that? What the fuck did I just see? I'm not so sure about this. Perhaps chasing after voice scent isn't the wisest course of action? Shrug. But I suppose we have no choice. I swore an oath to keep the residents of Firmament safe. After all, let us exercise due caution then. Alright, let's end the cutscene so I can do this. This duty. Go get it. Slam! Da-da! Slam. Here it comes again. Slam! Slam! Da-da-da! Dude's disconnecting. Slam! Da-da-da! And then he's gonna fall. Alright, see ya. He's gonna float. It's jail time. Rescue me from jail. Don't have to go to the edge for this one. Slam, 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 slam. Move from 3 to 1. You guys stop getting hit by shit. Let's kill it before these explode. Alright, there's another one done. Alright, chase that pussy. Feline fanatic. You're not kidding. Meow. There's so many of them. What else commotion? Quiet all of you, or you'll scare them away. Nyahaha, so you're the master of these creatures, I presume? Master Heart, I simply took to feeding one of them as a way to fend off the pangs of loneliness that come with being so far from home, and before I knew it, well, you can see for yourself. I'm not unsympathetic to your situation, my friend, but we simply cannot allow these creatures to run rampant around the firmament. All their cuteness and fluffiness be damned. They are monsters, after all. All I know is that they've never done me any harm. Why give them a snack and they'll curl right up next to you and let you cuddle them and nuzzle them, then their noses to your heart's content. He's like, do want? How generous and giving is the Gaelicat? And pray tell, my friend, just how does it feel to cuddle and nuzzle these most delightful creatures? How can I put it? The fur is soft and smooth, their nose is toasty and warm, the cute little whiskers tickle the face. And they give up the most delightful aroma, akin to that of freshly washed bed linens, or perhaps close to the bread right out of the ovens. They smell good, is what I'm saying. You need say no more, for verily, there is no creature so heavenly as the cat. Yes, no cat must go uncuddled. Yes, no cat must go uncuddled. Here, here. Anyway, I can assure you that I've been in contact with officials in the Mendicant's court in hopes of finding proper homes for the creatures as soon as I possibly can. Surely agree that they deserve that much? Please don't chase them away. Well, at the very least, they seem to pose no danger, and their population seems to be under control. I suppose I can overlook the matter for the time being. But be forewarned that should the situation change and the creatures prove a threat, we will not hesitate to use force when necessary. Isn't that so, friend? Kitty. What's this? You wish to accompany me on my journey? Oh, why did you not say so sooner? It would be a pleasure and honor both. Come, my fluffy friend, and let us spread a love for all things feline far and wide across the land. Hooray for pointless quests. Bye! That's an important quest. Oh, hi, grizzled adventurer. Is there something you need from me? Any Adventurers Guild? Hey, I've only just arrived from Ulda, and I'm still learning the ways of the land. I'm not embarrassed to admit I was hoping there might be a place where I could meet some veteran types and learn a thing or two. Calling me interested. Hello, and you know something, friend? In that case, I would encourage you to consult with one of my colleagues. I fear I'm but an apprentice here and would have little to offer you. Was that you say a new gathering place will be opening here in the Firmament? Why, this is wonderful news indeed. I look at here from Limsa to learn a new trade, but I must admit that I find myself feeling a touch homesick at times. I was hoping there might be a place where I could mingle with travelers and hear the latest tales and tidings from my homeland. I must visit at once. More adventurer things. This is Monica. Always a pleasure to see you, my friend. What brings you to the Firmament today? Lead me to build an adventurers guild here in Featherfall, you say? I do believe I speak for everyone when I say this is the most welcome development, indeed. After all, it's been rather tedious going from door to door every day, asking townspeople if they had any tasks requiring adventurers' expertise. If there's anything I can do to see that a new facility is a rousing success, I'm more than happy to do it. Alright, thanks, friends. Alright, jump into this fight. Ah, fire! Nailed it. He is invulnerable. What a dashing boss. I don't want to get breathed on. Murdered. Suddenly do these. Perhaps I'll even thought gazes intently at the streets of the Firmament. Monica, it's always a pleasure to see you here in the Firmament. I'm certain you'll agree that the place is feeling lively and more cultured than ever, is it not? Truly, we could have never hoped to accomplish this without the help of our preeminent sky builder. Truly, I have not the words to express the depths of my gratitude. Recently, I have had the occasion to take the briefest of respites from my daily duties and reflect upon the reconstruction of it as a whole. In doing so, my mind often returns to Manalian's words that day. An ever-growing number of Ishgardians now make their residence in the Firmament, and its markets bustle with customers and exotic wares from across the realm. What more could be needed? The answer was clear. A place where those who live and ply their trade can leave behind their worries and cares and indulge in the finer pleasures of life. Yes, the newly completed Rising Sun Quarter shall be precisely that, and I would like nothing more than you to be the first to walk in the streets with me. If, of course, you have no more pressing commitments at the moment. Splendid, then let's make for Sir Vaindrol's grace. I think that you, too, would be keen to lay your eyes on a location which I believe to be the pride of the Firmament. Play area. I've got another quest way down here, too. Hi, kids! Pirqual appears excited about something. Oh, see you again. Have you heard of all sorts of merchants and craftsmen from across the realm have come to Featherfall? We're just going to head over there to see for ourselves. You should come with us. It'll be so exciting. That's not supposed to be exciting, Pirqual. These outsiders are the competition. We're going to scout them out. Let's get going now. Like, fine, I guess. There's also this one. Now you are, friend. I'm pleased to inform you that a number of your peers have already graced with their presence. Why, this place is starting to feel more and more like an honest-to-goodness adventurers guild with every moment. Rest assured that I'll do everything in my power to see that this place flourishes into a home away from home for all adventurers who pay visit to the Holy See. Pray forgive me for imposing upon the esteemed favor of Ishgard with such a trivial task, but you have done us great service today, and for that you have my most sincere gratitude. Whenever you're inclined to grace us with your presence, our doors will always be open. Hi, friends. Like nothing more than to go on a grand adventure. Lala, friend. How you guys doing? What kind of shenanigans are you kids doing? Markets. This is amazing. I've never seen anything like it. Like any of these things before. If we could fashion some eye-catching wares of our own, I do believe we could earn a good coin here. Whatever shall we do, sister? Indeed. Hey, what's the matter? You're looking awfully glum. Oh, my mother and I heard that traders from around the world had set up shop in the Firmament, so we've come to peruse their wares. Once more, Mother was kind enough to give us some extra gil to buy ourselves a special treat. There's one most luscious-looking exotic fruit that caught our eye, but sadly it's just a bit too expensive. Still, we don't want to settle for anything less. Is that all? If you need money, why don't you just earn it? That's what we do. We make all sorts of things and sell them for good coin. Well, aren't you the spirited one? If you're hunting for gil, maybe we can make ourselves a deal? What kind of deal? Bah, tough negotiator, I see. Here's a story. I'm a hunter from the Drowning Forelands, and a pretty good one if I do say so myself. It's the chap. I was on my way back to the wilds after dropping off a chocobo, and that's when it hit me. It's bleeding cold out there, and I could use myself a new overcoat. I'm not looking for anything fancy, mind you. If it keeps me warm and toasty in the blistering snow and wind, then that's plenty fine for me. Where can any of you young ones be able to help a hunter out? Huh, could we ever? You just watch. We'll whip you up the finest coat you've ever seen before you can bat an eyelash. Good to hear it. I'll be lingering around the markets for a while still, so you can just bring it back to me whenever it's ready. Well, looks like we have a job to do. It's off to Rollenberry Field for me to procure the needed tools. Perhaps you'd like to come along? These names again. I can go on YouTube for you to go to get some cloth from old Ishgard, yes? Well, yeah, all we need, let's meet back here. Meet back here. Alright everyone, let's get to work. Hard-working kids. Hey champ, how you doing? Would reckon someone like you'd have more important matters on your plate than tended children. Though I suppose I'm not one to talk. Any road, I imagine you'll be going along to see what they don't get themselves into trouble. Alright, see ya, champ. Hi, kids. I came too. Good, there's something I wanted to ask you. What sort of route do you think is best for making an overcoat? Paraqual and I, we don't know anything about weaving, you see. It's Lascelle who fancies herself a seamstress. Going to the hero Ishgard, I'm glad to see you as well. I've been trying to get these lads to tell me just what sort of fabric they need, but they can't seem to give me a straight answer. So what'll it be? Thick pelt to ward off the cold. Square of linen. Ward off the cold. Is that all? Then why didn't you say so? Well, that card is just the thing for you. And here you go. Recollection will serve you well enough. Well, I most certainly will. Many thanks, my good man. Alright, see you, kids. I've got a Leviathan to kill. Even if we're not going to hit this in time. Slam! Casters hit the face. Also AoE. Get spumed on. Nice attack, you idiot. Alright, just kill it. Kill it before anything dangerous. Is that dancer hitting the wrong one? I think that dancer's hitting the wrong one. Just kill it before anything bad happens. There, like that. Like, how does I play this machinist again? Alright, how's the resident weaver doing? With your new friend? Rasquin, there's a favor I should ask of you. I was in LaSalle. What can I do for you and your friends today? I went to a man at the market to hire us to make him overcoat. Do you have a needle and thread we could borrow? I do indeed, but I can't just let you have it. Why, if you so much as pricked your finger with my tools, I'd never hear the end of it. No need to fear. Monica's here to watch over me and see that I'm perfectly safe. Isn't that right? You can depend on me. I see. Well, the savior of Ishgard's willing to vouch for you. Who am I to oppose? Here you go. Just be careful with them, yes? Thanks, Rasquin. You're the best. Alright, kids working together. Hey, kids. Well, I do believe we have everything we need. Shall we get started then? Alright, crafting time. Shenanigans. Suddenly, Thorn March. Insta-pull. It's like I'm a jerk. Tower power. I guess I had to do this as Scholar, didn't I? Idiot. I can't just change classes here at the end. Big circle. Do not share. No, you guys aren't gonna help me. Laser. I did it just for the experience. Well, I do believe we have everything we need. Shall we get started then? Alright, it's coat time. Fashionable coat time. Say, what do I do with this part here? And just hold on, please. Fold it over. Oh, yes, just like that. Now stitch right there. Exactly, you're a natural. High quality. Why, it's the perfect fit. Our best work yet, if I do say so myself. And how does it feel, good sir? It's sturdy, warm, and even a fair bit more stylish than I'd been expecting. You've got yourself one satisfied customer, lass. I reckon this should cover it. Go and buy yourself something nice now. Oh, thank you. And thank you. We couldn't have done this without you. Here, this is your share. What? But this is just about all of it. Well, seeing as you did just about all the work, it seems only fair. Together with what our mother gave us, we have enough here to buy our fruit. Speaking of mother, we'd best head back before she starts worrying. What's become of us? Might we come back to play again? But of course, you're welcome to visit any time. Friendship. How nice it must be to have a mother to return to. Aww. Don't look so down, lass. Being able to help out a couple of nobles ain't nothing to sneeze at, and I reckon the friendship you've made today will serve you well. Speaking of your friends, I've got just the thing to cheer you up. How'd you like to take a baby chocobo off my hands? A baby chocobo? Aye, hatched from the egg of one of my best birds, but I've been having the damnest time trying to train it. Doesn't seem suited for the hunting life, and so I thought I could use a new family. How'd you like to be its new mother? Me, its mother? Why, yes, I'd like that very much. Shouldn't you check in with the orphanage first? With the coin you've earned, we can buy it food and everything. The little ones are going to be over the moon when they hear who's coming to live with us. Not just the little ones, Raskin too, he adores chocobos. Come on, let's go and tell him right now. You know, Monica, just looking at you and those children, it calls to mind that time I came upon you and you're still on tilt for their gods, how time flies. But speaking time flying, it'd best be moving on. I've got a chocobo to deliver, and then it's back to the road for me. Till next we meet, lass. Also, nice shiny new coat. Peace out. Dude's like, fish! Come get your fish! Can't remember if there's intermediary things during this quest. Where you have to actually go back to Azaslaw, or it says just go and do all the trials. Because if it is, I can just do all the trials in my free time. Because that's 7, right? Don't you need like 13 or something like that? 12? You need Ravana, Bismarck, and then Warring Triad, right? Yeah, the wiki looks like the things just say keep doing the trials. Alright, Francel. What's going on here? I do hope our presence won't be a bother. Oh, forgive me, this building before us is dubbed Sir Vaindrel's Grace. It's a place where the ailing and injured might see their wounds or maladies tended to. Some of our patients require only the briefest of treatment before they are back on their feet again, while those with more serious conditions may stay in these halls for months. There are even those here suffering from troubling sicknesses not visible to the eye, but our healers do their best to provide succor just the same. The constructed facility was first proposed by the House of Commons, but the plan was met with immediate and overwhelming approval in the House of Lords as well. How heartening it is to see our nation come together for a worthy cause. Needless to say, be they common or noble, in these halls all patients receive the attention and care they deserve. Nor do we turn away any who seek employment here, regardless of their background or station. Snazzy hat. Beg pardon, my lord, my lady, if I might trouble you for a moment. I'm but a humble artist working to capture the reconstruction of the firmament on canvas for posterity. I saw 2 of you here and simply could not walk by without expressing my gratitude. But yes, I do believe I have had the pleasure of looking upon your paintings. You have our thanks as well for the most exquisite... Wait, why does your face look so familiar? You're of House Chevrodin, aren't you? Are you not? Your gracious indeed, my lord, to remember one of such humble blood. It is true. I once had the honor of paying my respects to you when introduced by Sir Adelphil at a banquet. And you, of course, Monica. There's no greater honor than to see you before me. It was always my dream to become an artist, to capture the world around me in all its beauty, all its sadness, on my easel, that future generations may never forget the time we lived in. And yet, in times of war, there was, of course, no time for such lofty pursuits. And so I donned my armor and took up my blade, resigned to the thought that I would one day fall in the unending battle against the Horde. Oh, how my heart sung the day you fell, dread Nidhogg, ushering a new dawn for our great nation. At long last, I'm able to lay down the weapons of war, and take up my brush as I had dreamed for all those years. Truly not be an understatement to say that your heroism inspires every stroke that I paint. Forgive me. Moreover, I'm proud to say that my work has been put on display right here in the halls of Sir Vaindrel's Grace. Not to be overly presumptuous, but I feel there is a role for fine art to play in bringing succor to the hearts of the suffering. To that end, I have also made an effort to teach my craft to all who would learn. Oh, there you are. I was hoping to inquire about the price of your latest masterpiece. Oh, pray forgive me. Clearly you have more important matters to deal with. I meant not to intrude. No apologies needed, my good man. On the contrary, I have imposed upon my illustrious friends for far too long already. And with that, I shall take my leave. Thank you for giving this humble artist the opportunity to express his appreciation in person. Whenever you see one of my works, know that they would never have been possible were it not for you. Be proud, Monk. I truly have made your mark on the nation and its people in more ways than one. Now, shall we make for the next stop on our little tour? To Snow-Soaked Springs we go. Hot Springs? When's Charlemagne gonna be over here? Chat more with Francel. I welcome you to Snow-Soaked Springs, Monica. The waters here are natural thermal springs extracted from subterranean veins beneath Corythus. We used to do that ideal temperature for bathing is preserved by means of the finest fire crystals directly from the Duranian highlands. Needless to say, the springs are open to one end. Chief Mist, don't leave us here alone, I beg you. Quit your whining already. You know that we can't very well stay here forever. Isn't it cold? What was Lord Francel a Star Sky Builder? Perhaps you could talk some sense into this fellow. As you know, we are itinerant artisans plying our trade all across the realm. When we finish one task, we must move on to the next. We had a mind to celebrate a job well done here before leaving to Limsa for our next assignment, but I simply can't bear to see the chief here go. Why, without who will set me right when my hammering technique falters? Who will scold me when I am tempted to slack off on my duties? As you see, this fellow simply refuses to let us go. Would you be so kind as to have a word with him on our behalf? I'll go think with him. You have a job to do. This need not be goodbye. You mean I can? Why, yes, I can meet her again. Our borders are open now. And Sir Merrick himself encourages free travel between our nations. Should I wish to pay my regards to the chief, I'm free to travel to Limsa anytime I like. It's just as Savior Ishgard here says, so stand up straight and quit your whining for once. That goes for the whole lot of you. You all had, and will continue to have, a hand in one of the impressive rebuilding efforts this realm has ever seen. So take some damn pride in your work, and the firmament might soar to even greater heights. Aye, aye, Chief. Can't take him seriously when he's dressed like that. Well, that was a rather unexpected distraction. Still, as well, it ends well, I suppose. With that, I do believe we should be on our way. Pray company to the main plaza of the Rivet Rising Sun Quarter, would you? He's going swimming with a big fucking hammer. Where's Godbert, who wants to be oiled up? Alright, so what does this open up? As you can see, this is the district's main thoroughfare, connecting to the pillars above with the broom below. I often walk the streets here to speak to passersby and see if there's all that I might assist them. Now that I do believe I've seen most everything the quarter has to offer. What say you, friend? Did it live up to your expectations? Yep. Visit Savior Ishgard and Lord Francel as well. For Colonel said I might find you the two of you here, and thank the heavens that I have. Conan, it is good to see you up and about again. I trust your wounds have healed? Indeed they have, thanks to Marcelona's most marvelous unguent. I can scarcely feel a thing. I think that were not for both of you, I never would have even given the poor man a chance. Simply had to express my gratitude in person, and my words seem so woefully inadequate when measured against the profundity of your deeds. Well, truth be told, there is one more matter regarding which I would seek your counsel. Might you allow me to impose upon you just a bit longer? Sometimes it seems as if you are in greater demand in the firmament than I. Small wonder given all you have done for the people here. And although there are many administrative duties that await my attention, I'd best be returning to them sooner rather than later. Till next time, my friends. Alright, what have we got here? Anything with crit? No, I'll just take some money. Alright, peace out. Alright, more side quests. Is that the last one here? But we've been going for a while, so I think we'll work on that next time. So I'll get these done, and then next time we'll we'll be best friends forever and then keep on working through all these side quests. Thanks for watching! Did you like this video? If you did, like it, leave a comment, and share it. You can click on the left button to subscribe and the right button to watch more Lalafell adventures. Thanks for watching!